include, and I can do the same thing as what you would see it in the Lightroom in here when I say add folder. So from the organization of the library perspective, there is no difference. The main key difference is when it comes to the development. So when we talk about development, when we are in the development mode, on the left hand side in here you would see a concept which basically is popular in the Lightroom, and which is the preset. Now the same thing when I go inside Luminar, it is called as a looks. There is, that's just a naming difference. So when I talk about looks, so I'll talk about, let's say that this one. So this one is an unedited photograph. So when I say unedited photograph in here, these are all the looks that is provided by the Luminar. Oops. So in here you can see that I can categorize the looks the same way as what you would see it in the Lightroom, where I can have the folder organized like, okay, my folders, my presets, or whatever I want to, like for example, if I want to do quick edit, I can go in here and it's all done. I can go into the brush, I can say, okay, I want to have an exposure, I can do exposure playing around, and in the exposure I can say increase the color. And in here, so when I'm saying done, when I click on the two, you can see the before and after. So this is what the Lightroom is. So if I want to do the same thing in the in this the Luminar, so in the Luminar you can see that I'm having, so in here you can see that this is all the looks. Again, the categorization, I can say that, okay, only show me the essential bundles. So in the essential bundles, it loaded. When I click on this, it basically tries to process it, tries to apply its own algorithm to do the work. And once it is done, now that's another difference that I observed between the Lightroom and this guy, is the Lightroom is a bit faster compared to applying the presets compared to the Luminar. And in the Luminar, it basically has some sort of a delay. So the reason for delay is because it basically first it loads the file. It loads the file. Like for example, if I go, you can see that it's still doing the image processing because it's trying to load the file, and then it applies all those looks on top of that. That's why it takes time. So that's a big difference when we talk about a large scale processing. I'm sure they must be working on improvising this.
Yeah, because it seems like this is like a long time to just load one file.
Correct, correct. Another thing is that I'm not sure if it is because that I'm on the double thing, because first I'm sharing the screen and then I'm recording the screen. Maybe it's because of that. I don't have an answer. But yes, it usually doesn't take this much time. But yes, I'm observing that when I'm doing multiple things, it has a it's a slow. But yes, so these kind of things. So in here, like for example, this guy is already processed. Like this guy was done. So it says that processing. So in here, I applied those presets. So in the presets, when it's applied, it basically shows what all I did. Now again, if I try to compare the Lightroom versus in here, so in the Lightroom, when let me hide this back. So in the Lightroom, when I want to see what all done, I have to go on the left hand side in the history, and I have to see, okay, I added a stroke, I did the full auto, the difference. Now in here on the left hand side, I have to see each of these. So what happened in here? In here you see that all those exposure, contrast, so all these are the presets that I built over a period of time with the Lightroom. So that's why when I, depending on the situation, I select the presets and it does the basic thing for me. And that's the thing I do most of the time in the train, when I'm going in the train and I'm doing the mass post processing. So I just apply certain, looking at the images, I run through some presets, so it basically does a pre-processing for me, so that it saves a lot of time for me later, and I can utilize that hour of train time. So in here, I have to go each of these and it basically shows. Now at the same time, when I go into Luminar, it highlights in here what all has a change. So example in here, it says that oh, there was a, so this light you see, it has a change. And it basically says, okay, what is change? Okay, highlight change, shadow change, that thing. The next one is the AI enhancement has a change. And I will go through all of each of these one in here. The next category is that in here, the alert is changed. There are some rays added, and I'll show some of the feature which is pretty cool in the Luminar, which is very hard in the Lightroom if I want to do it. And then of course, there are some dodge and burn in here. It talks about that. So looking at these category itself, and since they are highlighted, they know okay what we are talking about. We know, oh yeah, these are the changes compared to in the Lightroom. I have to open each of these to see, okay, do I have anything. Next is, do I have anything? Yeah, there was a change in here. So there's a slight difference in the Lightroom versus
Luminar.
Luminar. Yep. Before I go further, any question? And said, don't afraid to ask, because here everybody is a friend and everyone is good. Like they are really like a good person. So don't worry if you have any question.
This is good, Girish. Thanks for
Yeah,
doing this.
I
You know,
got it,
unless
got
we start using this, you might have more questions. Or probably want to
Yeah.
download.
As
Portion.
right now, I'm still trying to install the application so I can like just start off in this.
And everybody install Luminar 3, right?
Yep. I don't know,
Yes.
but I have a 4, but yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I think that was free.
Yes, correct. When I
Yeah.
bought it, it was not.
Oh,
About
okay.
what? What'd you buy, Girish?
The Luminar.
Okay.
So is it free for both Mac and Windows? Or
Yes,
just
correct.
Mac?
Yeah,
It's free
three
for both.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is free for both platforms.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is good.
Right. So basic editing is not much difference when it comes to the Lightroom versus the Luminar. Now let's talk about some main attraction of the Lightroom. And to show you, I'm going to take you back to I think I was here, and I will go back. And I'll show this, like for example this image. Now in here, and now look at the interesting part of now the very very cool features of the Luminar. I'll show you what exactly it is. Again, I'm not saying that this is perfect. Still there are somewhere the loopholes are, but it's perfect. Let me show you, like let me take you to that image we were looking. Come on. We were looking at this guy. So if you really look at this image in here, so, and I will take you to the key things, and now the most interesting things of this tool. And let's hope it loads. So in here, the key things are, of course, the light and everything is, of course, the exposure. When I go into this, we are talking about white and black. This is similar to what the Lightroom has. This first, let's talk about this AI enhancement. So what exactly it does is that depending on your image, it basically boosts the certain areas of the image. So in here, if I say this guy, look at the difference. If I'm here, and if I drag all the way, you can see that the dark is showing up dark, all those, the green is showing up, the base, all these things, it shows up in just one slider. Versus, so if I disable this, okay, actually, yeah. So again, in the Lightroom, I was showing about this thing, right? Y and Y. In the Luminar, there is an eye piece in here on the top. So when you click on it, it shows okay before, after.
Oh,
It just one slide changed that. So I basically can, and again in here I can play around with the sky. I can make it more darker, and basically I can leave the base as is. That's a one thing. The second thing is, of course, this AI structure is nothing but it just what it is gives the sharpness and the details around the images. The interesting one is these, like couple of in here. Like for example, in here, if I say AI sky replacement, and this what exactly it does is that anywhere you see the sky, and if I say it's very bland, I want to have some dramatic, or I want to have my own image to be put it in, it can do it like this way. And to show you in here, if I say, let's say which one I want to have. I want to have a bright blue screen, blue sky. You can see that.
hmm.
And if I go inside, you can see that all those small trees. Like look
Very
at
nice.
this detail.
They pretty much
Look at
embedded
this
some
detail.
presets into the tool, I guess.
I'm sorry.
I think it looks like he embedded some presets into the tool.
Correct. So these guys, this is a part of the tool itself. What it does is that, so in here, so if I really look at this, whatever we do in the Photoshop that I want to replace the sky, that means that in the Photoshop first I'm going to select the area, then I'm going to bring in another image, then I'm going to apply
Correct.
the opacity, and I'm going to apply the fine tuning. It just did it in one click. Like in here, if
Yeah.
I say I want to have a galaxy in here, it shows that okay, your Milky Way is rising.
This is so cool.
I love it. This is the only reason I'll download this.
So in here, if I go
It's
zoom,
actually very simple,
you can
surprisingly.
see that all the way, all those trees, they still have the details.
Yeah, but you'll never notice that in most of these images are consumed in Instagram format.
Correct. Nobody
in
would
a
notice.
phone screen. You're never gonna see that.
Correct. But looking at like we basically like look at like I'll zoom in, and I can zoom in and see what exactly it did. I can say that okay, I want to have a sunset.
So, Girish bhai, I had a quick questions on that. So, is this facility only available on Luminar 4? Because on the Luminar 3, I can see that they have the only AI Sky options.
Yes.
They don't.
Only AI sky replacement. In 3, I think this is only this one, not the next one. Next one is in 4 only.
Okay. Because on the 3, I couldn't find that the AI Sky replacement as well. Might be they had
Should
on-
be there, because I remember that when I got the 3, it was there.
Mhm. Okay, we'll see that.
We'll take a look. We'll take a
We'll
look.
check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So in here, I can do anything like dramatic sky or sunset or star night. Like I can say starry night. I can put this. Or if I say, no, this is too much, it doesn't look real. So I can say, okay, make something real. This one. Like for example, in here, depending on how you are, because this situation holds good because it's a landscape image. But if suppose that I have certain things which is close focus, meaning that this area is focused, everything is blurry. In here, you can specify that I want to have a sky defocus. And I can specify how much defocus I want to have it.
Okay.
And at the same time, if suppose that let's say that I'm saying, okay, so I'll undo this. And if I say sunset, say that this light is coming here, I say no, can I switch it over here? You can just flip.
Cool.
And at the same time, this looks more like bluish and that thing. You can warm the temperature. You can go all the way and make it more yellowish and now at the same time you see that we want to add exposure. You can reduce the exposure to be more like Now if you see the difference, before, after, before, after.
So the question is, how long before Adobe implements this in Lightroom?
Correct. It won't happen.
It won't?
No, I have a doubt on that. The reason is that because if they do this in the Lightroom, the people, most of the time, the people are using Photoshop for the fun. I'll show you one more cool feature, and you're going to say,
Yeah.
wait, what? Those kind of things. I'll show you. So it is going to be very, it's not that Adobe cannot do it. They can do it, but then they have to give away certain core functionality from the Photoshop. So like this one, and I will show you another cool thing. So this one is that the second one is any object. Like for example, it doesn't look real, but yes, I'm saying I want to have a moon to be placed in. And I can say, okay, how my moon should look like. The moon should look like, rising, and I can reduce it.
That's surprisingly easy.
Correct. Exactly. That's the point. It's surprisingly so easy. Is that, and I was looking at it like, wait, what? And I did not mind at that time. I didn't mind to pay like 45-50 bucks for this one, because another thing I was trying to look at how quick I can do the work. Anyway, I'm going to write off, but yes, there's expense. So, and I can hide, and I can say, okay, I don't want it. And the pointer arrow, the curve pointer is nothing but you reset it back to the way it was before. So in here they have all those, like I can have a, the fireworks to say that at distance, like fireworks was happening, like this guy was trying to do the playing fire, like having the fireworks.
Do
Like
we
this.
have all that in the free version too?
No. So this one is only in the 4. But again, if you really look at it from the free version to upgrade, you will notice that the price difference is not that much. But before you go for an upgrade, understand like what exactly it can do, whether it can really solve your things or not. It can do the needful or not.
Got it.
Absolutely, there is no loss in details, right? Any pictures after you do all the stuff?
Correct. The next one is, of course, the sun ray. Now in here, if I say, so, and that's what exactly I did. Let me bring some another image. Like for example, I bring this image. This one looks so bland. Like see the white cloud, white. So I say, okay, I want to have a, like this one. This is fine.
Changes the whole picture.
It looks and feels changes all of a sudden. Whoop, wait, from a bland image,
Yeah.
from this white unattractive image started looking attractive.
Yeah, it made a completely unusable picture into an usable picture.
Correct. Now another thing I say, okay, what if I place a sun, and from here I say, okay, my sun is somewhere in this corner, and I say, okay,
Completely different picture now. Wow.
and I'm saying that the sun was all the way here. I can move it further to say that it's somewhere here, and now see the difference between before, after.
Sheesh.
And this is what I call unreal. It's totally.
I know.
Yeah, it is unreal. Of course it is unreal, but I'm talking about capability of a product out of box.
This is so good.
And if I have to do this in the Photoshop, yes, it's a good amount of work in Photoshop.
Oh yeah, this would take a long time in Photoshop.
Correct. And that's why I say, because to do this, taken it out from Photoshop and put it into Lightroom, yes, Adobe would think, because they are a huge market base.
Yeah, I think if Adobe's smart, right? Like for now, they might not, but if they see they're losing a lot of business. Although I don't think they'll lose business
will not.
from their core functionality
Correct.
to this just yet, until Luminar figures out their workflow
Correct.
process better.
Correct. So this is another cool thing, that yes, the sun rays you can do. Another thing, like of course the dramatic is like you just make it more HDR look, and this is nothing but the predefined presets. Like you can hover it and you can see how it would look. Oh, this one looking good. Before, after, before, after. And anytime if I don't want it, like I say, oh yeah, sun rays is looking too bad, I just click on that arrow, it goes off. I roll it. I really don't need to do Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, or look for what was changed and I deleted. That's how the Lightroom, you have to do it in Lightroom. You have to look at what will you change, because going back to Lightroom, like for example in the Lightroom, if suppose that I added this one, and if I say just for the sake, now when I do this, I don't know what part. So if I'm new, I have to look at it. Okay, whether I change this, I have to keep looking at what was changed, and then I keep going into each to see, and in here just clicking, yeah, oh this is what it is, delete. Now another thing that I will show is in here. So for example, you work on this one. Another thing, if you really look at in here, on the right side there are two other options. Before that, so I will come to these part. Let's come to the next one. Now this one is advanced contrast. I can highlight what exactly, you can see that it's a variation of the contrast. I can have a mid-tone contrast. You see that there is a change in the, so it's okay, before, after, before, after. I can do this or undo this. Now at the same time, the next one is adjustable gradient. Now basically it divided this image into the part. I can say, okay, I want to split this from here, top to bottom, reduce. I can say contrast, make it, make it more bluish, more yellowish. The bottom, I want to make it more warm, and exposure. Now at the same time I say, yeah, this is fine. Can I adjust it more? When you click on this drop down, there are three other options. You can say brush. Now I will show you the brush, exactly how the brush works. To show you, I'll do this. So when I say start painting in here, this is how the brush works in here. Now at the same time, if I go back into our world famous sky replacement, in the edit mask, I say brush. Now see the difference. I say apply only brush in this one, and the rest it will leave it as is, meaning that it's just replacing the sky only to the areas where I'm moving the brushes. Okay, yeah, see, this is what it is. So it's asking me to update later. Okay, that's a zoom. So yeah, so I can keep doing it, or I can say that way. So this one is more like the brush from here. So I can just do complete undo, like I don't like it, I just want to have a pure plain. I'll go with sunset 3. Yep. So the dodge and burn are like that. So if I say start, on top it says Lightroom, lighten, darken, or erase. So for example, I just did, like for example in here. Now I say, no, erase it. Or say that I did this completely and I say, not everything I needed. Oh, accidentally did here. I'm going to erase it. I'm just going to erase this part. Or I can say, just want to darken this area. Or I can reduce the amount of light or dark. The next one is of course, the adjustment. Like, you guys still there, right? Hey guys.
Are you done with your call? No.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
don't know
Yeah.
what happened. The meeting ended all of a sudden.
40 minutes.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
think it's a
limited to
40
40 minutes.
minutes. I was telling that to Raj. Is that it
I
seems like
can
it's a
see it,
40
sir.
minutes limit. I don't know till what point I was saying, but yeah, I'll go back. Let Raj comes back.
We got you after.
Hey Raj.
Hey, Girish.
We'll wait for Abhijit to come. I don't know where I was and the meeting got disconnected. So please.
You were going over the masking feature,
Oh, okay.
which I love because I wish Lightroom had a masking feature. That's one thing I miss in Lightroom.
Yes, correct. That's one thing. This tool has a lot of good features. And again, as you said, like you one time you paid the same thing what you did. You
Yeah,
paid for Lightroom Classic and you've been using it. It's the same thing.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, invite. Copy URL. Copy to clipboard. Okay, I sent again to Abhijit. Okay, yeah, I think he joined.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
some reason, I couldn't join in before.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so what I was talking about is that the masking feature of this, the painting, the brush, and everything else. Of course, the color enhancer is nothing but you just play around with the warm and bright, like those kind of things. It's like again, it's all there. You can see that it boosts the green to green and those things. And of course, the photo filter is it's the same thing,
You
same
not share your
concept.
screen,
Oh,
Girish.
damn. Sorry. My bad. Are you guys able to see?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So what I was saying is that in the color enhancer, you can see that I can play around with the bright, the brilliance color, warm, the blue, the cold, those things. Like again, it's all basic that you can do it in the Lightroom also. This part is now that's where basically it becomes more trickier. Is if you really look at these two tools, I say canvas, and I say okay, I want to have a crop and rotate, which is again it's there in the Lightroom. Erase, clone and stamp, they are there in the Lightroom. This is the most interesting one, which is layer. I can add a layer and says okay, what exactly I want to have it. I want to have a new adjustment layer, and I can say okay, what do I want to adjust it. Like I want to have the blending or what exactly I want to do. Now at the same time I say okay, I want to have another layer, and it's a new image layer. So it says okay, I can go to any other image, I can add it over there and play around with that. Or I can say create a new stamp. So let me delete this guy, delete this layer, and I say okay, I want to create a new stamp layer. What you will see that all those work that I did, it's actually going to merge it, and it's going to allow me to say so this is my original one logged, and this is what the stamped modified one is. And then I can apply more to that. I can say okay, I want to have a hash removal from here. So when I do that, now that feature is not there in the Lightroom. I can keep adding new, stamp layer one over there and one over the other, and it maintains the original one. Every time I do that, it keeps maintaining its own layer. And
What's a stamp layer again?
stamp layer is nothing but that in the Photoshop, you have, let's say, multiple layers. And in the multiple layer, you can select, okay, let me show you in the Photoshop what I mean. So in the Photoshop, you say that you worked on the 5 layers, and you selected those 5 layers, and you right click, and if with the Mac, you hold the Option key, and you can right click and merge visible.
Merge, okay.
It
Yep.
creates a new layer with all those merged ones. You maintaining
Got
the
it.
original layer.
So what layer did you add to this?
So this one I just added a stamp layer. A stamp layer, so whatever happened in here, it actually maintained that.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. So that's your background now.
Correct. So this becomes
And you
my
can add-
base, and this becomes my, that. So I can keep creating those layers one after another, and any point in time I can say, oh, something I messed up. This was
Got
still
it.
the original is still as is.
Got it. Okay. Now the sky is added in, enhanced sky, right? That's
Correct.
not the real sky.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Correct. It depends that you are able to join or not yet. Okay, never mind. So yeah, so those things, yeah, you can see that, yeah, this one is a powerful one. That you can do all these layering things, and again going back, if you're in the layer, you can go back and apply the same thing again and again.
Takes a lot of time in Photoshop for layering.
Correct. The Photoshop, there's a lot of things. Now the next piece of this one that I'm going to show you is this guy. So if you really look at this, so these are all raw images of the photograph. Now another thing that is really interesting, and I miss it in the Lightroom, like for example, I take this image. If you really look at this image, this is an unprocessed image, and in here I go and drop down, I say portrait. So in the portrait, it basically gives the preset, like how the portrait would look like. So I say, okay, just do this, the basic. See the difference.
Wow.
You see that?
It did some liquefying of the face too.
Correct. You see that? Now now I'm going to show you another feature of this, and personally I like it. Just look at this, and I'm going into the face category. I'm going into the enhancement. In here, I'm saying is that eye whitening. I'll bump it to all the way, and I'll show the difference. See?
Some of these features are on the Snapseed, right? That we have seen them.
Correct, but the thing is that in the Snapseed is a very cell phone centric.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about the raw file, because again, Snapseed won't work on the raw files. When you talk about really, like when you talk about that, you have some studio shots.
Mm-hmm.
So those things, Snapseed, yes, again going back to, if your idea is, oh, I just want to publish it to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, yeah, that's fine. But when we talk about a publication, like you want to send it to the magazine, you cannot rely on that. You need to have a solid, strong image. Not only that, so in here, I saw that one. Now look at this. If I just bump that eye enhancer to 100%, you see that difference. You see that eye. Let me also remove this slim face. You see that eye. See.
Mm-hmm.
And if I zoom it out,
Wow.
now I can say that, okay,
That actually makes a huge difference to it.
correct. Yes, exactly. I say, okay, I want to have more light onto the face.
Wow, these enhancements are way better than what Lightroom can do.
Correct. Exactly.
You can do the same in Lightroom, it's just going to take you a lot longer.
Correct.
Because I do, in some portraits, I do eye enhancements and iris enhancements.
Yep.
But it's not a one-click thing.
Yep. Now, not only that, if you really look at the next one, is that, sometime what happens is that eyes get a little bit close. So you say, okay, I want to have the enlarge the eye. Now look at it. So this slider, I'll bump it all the way. It actually bumped it. See the difference?
Yeah, it didn't change the eyebrow.
Exactly.
It changed the eye. Yeah.
Wow.
It knows where the eyebrow is. It's
Correct.
good. It's pretty good AI on that.
Yep.
That's
In here, if I say improve the eyebrow, bump it. You see that?
Oh. Wow.
And not only that, if I say, I want to have lip saturation also, bump it. You can see the difference. Now I go to the, okay, I want to slim the face. The eye is too big.
This would be amazing for all those mothers of the brides that ask me to slim them down.
Of course, of course. Hey Dipinder, thanks for joining.
Hi Girish, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, that's what I'm just gonna say. My people are gonna love after my next portrait shoots.
Exactly. So in here, now this one looks very. So I say okay, go with the just go click one, and it shows in here. I want to see what all difference. Yes, it's slim. Let me add some light to the face. Okay. Now let me little bit enhance the light, and then eye whitening. And if I zoom in, you can see that what kind of umbrella was used, what kind of light source was. Now,
thanks for all this. Just one question. I'm sorry if I'm jumping guns here, but
no.
The major challenge we are facing, at least I've been with the noise, right? So is there any special features in here that
here,
helps us
yes,
with the noise?
it is also in here. So there is a denoise section. It also denoise based on the luminosity or the color, or you can say boost or everything else. So for example, in here, let's see how it. So if I go pump all the way both of these guys, you see that it clean up everything, smooth out.
Okay.
Now if I show you the difference, look at the difference in this skin tone and everything. Now if I have to do this in the Photoshop, yes, it's going to take a good amount of time. If I have to do it this one in the Lightroom, oh yes, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, because in Lightroom, I don't know if there's any other way to do it, but I've been using adjustment brushes to paint in the eyes and then
Of course.
enhance the whites. But this is so much easier.
Correct. If I say convert to black and white, how it looks, see the difference.
Beautiful.
Now even in here, if I want to have a selective, I can do the same thing. Go to brush, and if I say that I want to just have a color of this eye. So if I say,
Are these images yours, Gersh?
no, actually it's a public. This is a raw image that I got from somebody, because I say that I want to use this for sharing the knowledge with the folks I know and work with.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I got this. That's why all these are. So another thing is that before I fit to screen, so if you really look at it, this one is a Canon, and now another one is, this one is Canon, this one is Nikon. So that basically wanted to show the difference, that it doesn't matter whether you're using Nikon or Canon, because many times the questions come to me, which camera is good? Should I go with this or should I go with that? So the reason I'm showing both in here is because of that. Okay, no, it doesn't matter. When you talk about the processing, it's the same. At the end, your product result is different. So now say that we were in here. So I'll say that okay, and I go back to edit, and we were in the black and white. I'll say brush, reduce the size. Oh, actually other way around. I'm going to say erase only this part. Oops.
Hmm.
And I'm saying only keep these color. So basically, so this is another cool feature that I love it, is that yes, I can do these kind of things. Even at this all these presets, if you say dreamy, it shows us that how the dreamy would look like. Any questions so far?
Good stuff, Krish.
Absolutely.
So these are really good features of this, and basically shows like how you can do it, what you can do, what you cannot do, those kind of thing. It's amazing product when it comes to the price.
Yeah, looks like it. Are you working for them, Girish?
Nah, man. Actually, I did some work. I created a video and I sent it to them
Okay.
because I was doing it, and then I literally found it really amazing. Especially that sky replacement one was amazing. It was so fine detail. It was going in every. I basically, what I did was that I took a shot of the tree with the cloud on the back, the cloudy day, so that it shows only white, and then I replace the background. So when I replace the background, the tree branches, all those details, everything was preserved.
So their edge finding AI
Algorithm.
must be really
Yeah,
good.
it is really good. I might have it. I put it onto the YouTube, so I'll share it again.
This is cool, Ganesh. I don't care about other online reviews. I just go by you. If you have used it, I'm sure it must be good.
Again, I'm using this, so yes.
I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
I take more landscape photos, so is it possible you could show me some features and edits for that?
Yep,
Honestly?
sure. So I'll go to library. And these are all the stupid things I do.
That's like really good photos.
I was trying to make this a movie, Friday the 13th short. So basically, like she's looking
That's pretty good.
through the knife.
Yeah.
And these are, of course, I'm just trying to find one landscape one, and these were the recent one that I was experimenting. And this is the most recent one, like about a week back, where basically it's all light painting.
Nice.
That's nice.
It's like a flower, and there is a butterfly coming.
It's actually pretty good. Awesome for a light painting.
Yes.
So,
And of course, you saw that all those experiment that I was doing with this, the treadmill versus.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to find out one image said. It might be in general. Okay. Like for example, this one. So this one, if I really see that, okay, I want to use, how do I use it? So in here, there are presets. I want to have a landscape. So if I go to the landscape, and you can see the difference. When I click in here, it shows the difference. It says
Yeah,
that
I already put into landscape mode for that, and then I enhanced some things in it too.
Yes. So that's the landscape. And again, once you are done with that, you can see what all was changed. I can bump it to see the difference. I say, wow, too harsh.
Yeah.
and I can play around again in each of these drop down, like it talks about brush and all those different things.
Mm.
So yes, so the landscape ones are also good in here. I'm just trying to let me
Got it.
find out more that I can show you. Like for example, this one looks so plain blue.
Mm-hmm.
So what if I want to have some dramatic or some cloud in here? So of course I can add the cloud also in here. I can say okay, add one cloud. It basically will add, say okay, this is added a cloud, and you see that
Yeah.
it adds a cloud right
Wow.
behind
Love
that.
it.
It doesn't put on top of the image.
Mm.
And at the same time I say okay, let's put some sky with the cloud.
That looks so natural. My
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah, exactly. This
Yeah.
exactly. So there are certain, like if suppose that in here if I say galaxy, yeah, it's going to be like okay, it doesn't look real. It doesn't look real. But if I say something like this, yes,
That doesn't look as natural now.
Like this.
One thing is that since this has a water body in the bottom,
uh-huh.
you're not
See,
gonna see the reflection
Exactly. Yeah.
or
Correct.
that subtlety in the water
Correct.
because of this image. But the feature is great, I think.
Yes, exactly. So in this particular situation, yes. So that's why the good part would be just to keep one object, because if you keep this one, yes, if you keep it such a way that you really don't care about the reflection or
Yeah.
it doesn't come in the reflection, you're fine.
Yeah.
But it has to blend in the image, even if you're replacing something. So depending on what exactly, if I can say, the black and white. So if I'm doing black and white, it says, okay, that's fine. So I'll go and say, okay, I want to have the cloud back. Add in here, I say, no, just one cloud is good enough.
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah.